Stephen,
Andrew,
what are you up to tonight?
not much. You?
Uh, Not a lot. Fancy maybe spending.
Can we do a little podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
let's do
right.
it.
Okay.
Hi.
So, as promised in last week's episode, in the previous episode, we said we'd be back to explore script books series 4 to 6. So that's what we're doing.
It is.
Do we need to acknowledge the fact that we have been away for a little while?
I know you don't like to date these things, but I very much feel like it's been long enough.
Yeah, it has been a while. So, yeah, I think I've been mindful of the fact that obviously Series 9 they've wrapped the filming and I don't know where they've got to, but it's going to be out soon. So,
They seem to be doing sound things and all of the post, I guess,
adding noises and things like that.
adding noises.
Yeah. So we're heading towards that. And I don't want to just go in cold. I feel like it's
Ease back in.
yeah. So the obvious place to start is Zanzibar.
This is this wasn't the best place to start for all sorts of reasons because the episode itself is not for the faint of heart.
No. And yeah, there's not a whole lot of stuff. So one of the things, I mean, we've been trying to just sort of remind ourselves of what we're doing with these script book episodes. But yeah, one of the things is to go through the script book, see if there's any sort of discrepancies between the script and the episode itself. So, like, was
You
there
said,
anything?
you said that as though we're kind of hunting for errors.
Yeah, exactly. With a red marker. Yeah, just to sort of see if there's any differences, I suppose, and yeah, to kind of take note of anything and to think, I wonder why that changed, or I'm glad that changed. And there's not a huge amount of stuff between, yeah, the original Zanzibar script and the finished episode. So, I mean, this might be quite a brief check-in. But yeah, was there anything that sort of stood out for you as you were going through the script?
No, I think the thing is that as soon as it started, so I haven't watched any Inside Number Nine in quite a long time, and so it was nice to um, load up iPlayer and delve back in. But as soon as Fred the bellboy started talking, I thought this is going to be tightly scripted because it has to be because
Yeah.
the the work that must have gone into creating this and creating the iambic pentameter all the way through. You didn't have Shakespeare being riffed on, I don't think, on stage, and there wasn't a lot of riffing to be done here either.
Well, there's not a lot of leeway, really, is there? So if you change a word, you have to change it for a word with the same number of syllables. If you add a line, you've got
Something's
to
got
add
to go.
a proper line of 10 syllables. Yeah, so yeah, it's that basically.
So,
But there were a few little notable things, I would say. And
notables pushing it in some case.
well, I think the most significant. Do we start with the most significant, or do we sort of work our way up to it?
I think we should work our way up.
Yeah, we'll
I
sort
don't
of
think
draw
we
it out,
should.
and
I don't think we should go too early on this.
so keep listening if you want to hear the most notable, significant difference between the script book and the episode. So
Have you been learning about your listener retention for the last few months?
how to make a YouTube video? Yeah,
Keep them waiting.
yeah. Promise the world and deliver
You'll be delivering whatever it is that they end up with
whatever.
at the end of this
Yeah,
episode.
and they'll be satisfied.
Keep listening, guys.
Yeah. So what's the least significant change?
The least significant. It was literally two sentences switched around at one point.
No way.
I don't know why it doesn't seem to work. Gus said when he was trying his cue card, and it said it was going to be. Doesn't seem to work. I don't know why. Don't know why that happens.
Why? Yeah, so right, let's start theorizing as to why they might have switched those.
There are people right now going, "There's a new one out. Shall I listen?" And then immediately going, "Oh,
No.
oh no, no, there's not."
No,
You
I
know
think
what?
I would say this episode is probably for people that have missed our voices. Not it's yeah, maybe not for. I would say there's probably better analysis of the episode. Well, there's definitely better analysis of the episode if you go and listen to the original episode. So, what I was going to say earlier, actually, when I think you cut me off with some sort of quip.
This hasn't taken long, has it? Good grief!
Was the I've forgotten now. You've done another quip.
I've done it again. Yep. You were going to say
We're not going to. We generally try and not repeat ourselves between. So, like the original episode where we're doing the reaction to the episode and looking at the script books, we don't want to sort of go over things that we've talked about before. The problem in this situation is I have no idea what we talked about before. It's been such a long time.
been a long, long time because that was series 4. And that was when we were kind of in the swing of it, recording.
We were swinging hard.
We were swinging really hard.
Really, really hard. Yeah. But then I suppose, I guess I've got the confidence that we covered everything worth covering.
Our Zanzibar episode wasn't the subject of a withering review, so I assume we did okay.
Must have been good enough. Yeah, that'll do.
Good enough. That'll do.
One of the things was the pronunciation, not pronunciation, or maybe it's pronunciation. The numbers of the rooms.
What, Colette?
Colette.
Yeah, she was a bit all over the place in the script, but then when they recorded it, I think they decided to settle on her either reading them as individual digits or 9 and then the number. So 9, 11, 9, 13, 9, 12, rather than 9, 1, 2, 9, 1, 3. I don't know whether that was just a sort of a stylistic choice.
Yeah, because I wonder whether that was an issue around syllables and fitting things. But what 9, 1, 2, 9, 12? Yeah, because you drop I don't know.
Yeah. It wasn't.
Gives a bit more margin for another little syllable that you can check.
But it does. But they didn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, on a general level, because I've watched a couple of, I watched series 1 again recently. When I was in Finland, it came on BritBox, so we watched it, and I was watching it with some friends of mine who had never seen it before. So that was a delight to, get to watch it with fresh blood.
I like that you were kind of forced into series 1 there and not sort of given free rein as to which one to show them first, because that's always a dangerous game.
Yeah, no, we just went from sardines and on, yeah. Which took the pressure off. But I haven't watched Zanzibar for ages, so it was I really enjoyed going back and watching it, and like the humor in it is great. I mean, it's just a fantastic episode, actually, and I don't think I give it. When I think about the entire kind of, I guess, library of Inside Number 9 episodes, it's not one that occurs to me as one of the top ones. But actually, on watching it, I'm like, this is so clever.
It is.
And it's so entertaining and tight and funny and like, yeah, they just nail it.
And they really let loose with some of the humour aspects as well, like joking about water sports and things. It's not something you see on prime time. Well, it's not prime time on BBC Two very often.
No,
and they did kind of let loose with that a bit.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it went to places that I'd forgotten it went to, and yeah, no, it's good. And it was interesting because I was reading some of the reviews on IMDb and things like that, and there's quite a lot of scathing responses to this episode. And I think it was like people, as probably was the case with a lot of first episodes of series. Like I remember it was the same with Wuthering Heist, where people just took it on themselves to tear apart this thing and decide this is not anywhere near as good as the previous things. And I think people react too quickly to things without giving themselves chance to actually realize why they're good. If that makes sense.
He says, as someone who was doing immediate reviews of
really bad idea.
Wuthering Heist.
We got a really bad review for that episode. Yeah.
That's because people didn't take time to let our episode land.
Yeah. You've got to realize why we do the umming and the ahhing and the, taking a long time to get a point out. It's like, actually, it's for your own benefit as a listener. It gives you time to ponder, like, what are they going to say? What are they trying to say? What are they talking about?
Ponder along with us.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. It is up there with some of the cleverest television. I don't know, unless you had some sort of PTSD from studying Shakespeare at school and you didn't want to go anywhere near it ever again. I don't know how you could watch that episode and think this hasn't got something about it. Even if the storyline isn't for you, even if the way it plays out doesn't leave you sort of thrilled, I think there's something there you have to acknowledge about how well put together it is. And like you say, how tight it is. And it does manage to do that job of creating quite a spectacular farce.
Yeah.
Over the course of that half hour. It's amazing what they can do in half an hour of television.
It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. No, and it covers a few Shakespearean genres as well, doesn't it? It's not just... There's a bit of tragedy in there and like...
There's comedy, tragedy.
Farce. Farce and comedy, are they different things?
Is all farce a comedy, but not all comedy is a farce?
Yeah, that's true.
That.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest, I don't know enough about the wider oeuvre of Shakespeare to tell you how many of his comedies weren't farces.
Yeah, because that was someone's comment was, this is about as unfunny as Twelfth Night. And obviously Twelfth Night has, I say obviously, that's a very pompous thing to say because, I'm assuming that people know Twelfth Night, but there's the twins in that, isn't there? Like character misidentification and all that sort of stuff.
If your review is this is about as unfunny as Twelfth Night, that tells me that you didn't enjoy Twelfth Night. You're probably not a huge fan of Shakespeare, and so you were probably predisposed to not enjoying this very much anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you were probably forced to read Shakespeare at school. You didn't have a teacher that really engaged you with it, with why it was good, or maybe you just didn't enjoy it. That's fine. But it all depends on so many factors, whether you find that sort of thing funny. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I think it takes effort. I think watching this and finding this funny probably doesn't take as much effort as it would have taken a 15-year-old me to find humour in the Shakespeare I was reading then.
No, and actually one of the most annoying things, if you've ever gone to see Shakespeare at the theatre, is when people, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but when people who are in the audience either just they laugh too soon or they laugh too much at something that is like, I think that's funny, and they're like, I can't, so funny.
I didn't know we had Goldilocks here going to watch Shakespeare. His laughs are too little. His laughs are too much.
I spent the whole time just judging the level of laughs. And I'm like, him. No, I wouldn't have a beer with him. Yeah, no. There's something about it's the pompous nature of certain people who are like, just so everyone knows, I got the joke. I got the joke. Yeah. Anyway,
Goldilocks, of course, having something in common with the person in one of the plays whose direction was to exit, pursued by a bear. as is one of the Shakespeare deaths. No one is pursued by a bear in this. No one was actually killed, despite best efforts.
Not quite. No, no, it was nearly. Did we talk about the colours, the meanings
Oh, the
of the
red, amber,
names?
green. I did. I don't know whether it was just seeing them written down, maybe go, oh.
Oh,
But I assume we must have done.
well, that was my thought, but then I don't remember really talking about it. But I should have gone and listened to our original episode because it like Henry starts, doesn't he, with like Mr. Blue and Mr. Brown are in the building,
Yeah.
and then there's Mr. Green, who's the dad,
Hmm.
Red, who's the prostitute.
And amber is the Gus's
So blue,
partner.
brown, because you've obviously got traffic lights as red, amber, green.
Yes.
What's the blue and brown? Have I missed something? Is this a homage to Reservoir Dogs, or
Maybe. Maybe that's all it is.
that's all it is?
It's
Okay.
Reese in a suit wanting to play Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe that's his dream.
I did. There was one bit that I don't know if we. I assume we did pick up on that I found very funny on the rewatch, which was Reese delivering his soliloquy to camera and then hoping that the microphone on his wrist wasn't switched on.
Yeah.
Something that wouldn't have been an issue in the 1600s.
Yeah, that was for a modern audience there.
It was.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the things in this have probably been going on for all of this time.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, did we also talk about how there's a lot of split pairs of things?
I don't think we did we?
I don't know. Because you've just mentioned about the twin separation in Twelfth Night, and that's kind of themed through this, but it was when he tore the 50 in half. I was like, there's a lot of this here with people missing their other half.
Oh, yeah,
So
there is actually, yeah.
the son losing his mum, the mum only being able to access half of her life. She can remember her early life, but she
Yeah.
now can't remember the more recent stuff. Obviously, there's Gus and Amber who are kind of at odds with each other. She's decided this is over. He's decided he's about to propose. There's just an awful lot of people missing the other half of them.
I suppose even with the hypnotist, I suppose you've got like the conscious and the unconscious,
Yeah,
yeah, sort
yeah.
of being interplayed with.
The
Do
prince
the
thinking,
sides of the corridor? Because I haven't taken note of where people end up on the corridor.
no, I guess there's probably something in that because they do because of the way they keep on switching backward and forwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose track of who's where and
Yeah, I
what's
almost feel
what.
like I need a Charlie Day
Yeah,
red string all over the place.
absolutely.
Who's going where? Who's going where? Should have done that before we started this segment.
We really should have. Yeah, yeah.
Right, well, look forward to our next trip through the onion for that one.
Yeah, I think this now. I'm feeling a link between this and Diddle Diddle Dumpling as a
Okay.
the twin thing, the split thing. The
Ah, this is the twin of
Yeah.
Diddle Dumpling.
So if you watch them both side by side,
That would be really confusing.
they both end at the same time.
Brilliant. Insightful as always. It's like we never left.
Yeah. So I've really not got many. There's more points to make before we get to the big one. Got
More
such
starters.
such a big reveal to come towards the end of this episode.
I liked that they changed when Gus and Amber are struggling with the key card in the door slot. Gus is scripted to say, "What if I try it quickly in and out?" To which Amber sort of witheringly replies, "Just like our sex life." I think it was changed to make it slightly more overt, which was, "What if I pop it quickly in and out. It sounds more
It's a,
suggestive.
it's a better word, isn't it?
It does.
I think
I'll try it quickly in and out.
there's a few little word changes that make it more specific. So like he talks about he's had a sandwich rather than ordered room
That
service.
was the spit roast line with Reese, wasn't it?
That's it.
We
Yeah.
said, I thought you were going to ask for a spit roast. No, I've just had a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that works. That feels like it works better. Like
Always be
the
specific.
specificity of the sandwich is better than room service. Yeah.
It's the Garibaldi equivalent.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, and when Mr. Green is doing his little soliloquy about the fact that he's going to off himself,
Yeah.
he changes, like it says, the water seeping out will stop. He turned it into running out. I don't know whether it was felt that water doesn't seep out of a bath plug. It runs out, and seeping was a bit too sort of needlessly weird. And it was also odd that they're very tight on their directions. Everything is very specified as to what's going on, but there's no mention of him getting out his wallet with the pictures of the twins.
Oh, isn't there?
It's like they felt
Oh,
like they needed him to be looking at something just to make it really clear he had twins
yeah.
and they weren't there anymore. And they didn't think to write that in. It needed adding in later on. But I
Yeah.
thought that was odd that that wasn't there.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like I noticed like how specific the directions are. And it was almost like that's incredible. So on the one hand, I suppose they've got such a clear picture in their mind of like exactly how this is going to
Mm.
look. But I was thinking, that I wonder how restrictive that is when they actually sort of, get on set and it's like, oh, actually, but everything is exactly as it's directed. So
Well, I guess that is something that's probably true of theatre
uh-huh.
more than I. I don't know whether theatre does feel more like there is less license as a theatre performer to kind of change things around and do things. I, because I don't know whether someone who writes that and has kind of blocked that and is directing that knows how they want that to look, and it's kind of all written in, and the done thing is to just go with it. Whereas on a TV set, have you got slightly more license to mess around with things and make changes on the fly because it's a recording process?
Yeah.
And so if this was supposed to be more like it's being delivered as a play, you wouldn't be making those changes. You would get your script and you would kind of go,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that's probably true actually.
And that might explain why there just isn't as much shifting
Yeah.
from what we've got written down. But there are those little bits and pieces where they must have made a conscious change. Like when the ring appears.
Yeah.
The whole bit of the ring appearing is absolutely
It's
gross.
extraordinarily fast.
And Gus proposes. It says in the book that she says I do, but instead she says I will. And I don't know whether that was a realization that I do sounds like the marriage has happened rather than the agreement to be engaged. But yeah, it was just very little bits and pieces.
Very little.
Steve decided to throw in a whole big chunk of speech,
Yeah.
however, while he was looking for his mum, which was this. It kind of caught me off guard a bit. And while I was watching, I was reading along. I was like, hang on a minute,
Yeah.
what's happened here?
So two
We've got to
lines,
change
isn't it? Yeah.
because I wasn't prepared for that with how tight everything had been. Um, he kind of fleshes out a little bit what happened to his mum. So it says in the script that he just said, I've searched every floor from 1 to 8. Of my mother, alas, there is no sign. I never should have let her from my sight. I pray that someone's seen her here tonight. Instead, we get, I've searched every floor from 1 to 9. I cursed the day that she went into boots. She only wanted Schwarzkopf for her roots. She slipped and went down like a ton of bricks, covered from head to toe in tixie licks. I like it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard the name Tixie Licks in quite some time.
No, there's a lot of nice specific references there.
There is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was nice to get that sort of fleshed out a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It made a huge difference. Just, yeah. It meant that the end of the episode corresponds with the end of Diddle Diddle Dumpling perfectly. Just that extra few seconds.
Which is crucial.
It is crucial. It really is crucial. It's all about those little details. Yeah, so I think, are we ready for the big reveal?
I think we might be.
Yeah. So this is, what's his name?
Is it
Albert.
Victor?
Albert? No.
Victor,
Victor.
No, hang on.
Reese.
Reese. Oh, Reese. He is Henry. Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Henry. Yes.
What did I call him? Victor.
Victor. I called him Victor,
Oh,
but am I
Albert.
thinking
Did I call him Albert?
You called him Albert. I was thinking of what's the name of the hypnotist?
Oh yeah, Vince.
Vince, not Victor.
Yeah,
Vince.
this isn't about Henry anyway, is it? This starts with a conversation between Vince and Colette.
It does.
Yeah, because Colette
Yes.
was down watching Vince's hypnotist show, and she really liked it when they had to do the birdie dance every time he shouted spaghetti bolognese. And what?
Now that is going to have ramifications later.
Definitely. So what eagle-eyed viewers will have realised is that the birdie dance didn't make an appearance in this episode, but the hokey cokey did.
Ah,
Yes, that was the big difference.
I'm glad they changed it. I'm
Me
really
too.
glad.
I think the way that you can sing the hokey cokey is definitely better than. How's the birdie dance go?
Yeah, that would have been awful.
Yeah. Whoa, the hokey cokey. Much better.
I still love Kevin Eldon's spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last thing I wrote down was hokey cokey, far, far better. With
Yeah.
2 exclamation marks.
Oh wow.
That's how much better I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was much better too. Yeah. So
that was it.
If you've been listening right to the end of this episode, if this indeed is the end of our episode, then
That serves you right.
yeah, your face.
What have we all learned?
Yeah. Yeah. So this has been. It's not an easy re-entry, is it? I would say.
This is like the heat shield has failed and we're plummeting through the atmosphere,
Yeah.
burning up on the way in.
Yeah.
Or crash landing in the middle of the Atlantic.
And where will we crash land in our next episode?
Our next episode is Bernie Clifton.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing that again.
Hmm.
Because it's lovely.
Yeah. It's one of the ones that I point people to who are, in the early stages of getting familiar with Inside Number 9.
I mean, the danger is here that they spent the first 3 series kind of writing the scripts, sort of feeling out what this program was all about, and lots of changes were made when they finally got to filming it. And then we hit series 4 and they're really in their stride and they nailed it.
Nothing
in the
changes.
scripts first time round and nothing changes. And this is going to be a bleak few weeks.
They've just screwed us over completely.
Did they not think, guys, that some people might try and create some content off the back of this?
Yeah. Well, I think that there's going to be little nuggets that we can, use as bait to keep people listening to the end of each episode. So I'll
Tell them.
Are we not supposed to reveal that?
Don't. Oh no. The Emperor's got his clothes off now, hasn't he? We
Totally.
peeked behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz.
Just me riding a little unicycle, or whatever.
That'd be really hard work. Why have you decided to make this so much harder for yourself by trying to balance on a unicycle whilst convincing people that you're an all-powerful wizard? Challenging yourself.
Yeah, but I think it's just nice to get back on the unicycle together.
The pod train. You
Yeah.
can't get on the unicycle together without some sort of weird balancing clown trick.
Yeah, no, that's true. But yeah, so I hope it's good to hear us again, and we will. I don't know what I'm going to say. I've got nothing to say there. I'm just filling.
I think people should treat this as like a trailer more than anything.
Yeah, a trailer for what?
For what's coming.
Yeah, always think if this sounds bad, then it's just a trailer for something better.
In the words of D-Ream, in the year of an election, things can only get better.
Don't date the episode, mate. It's probably always a year of an election somewhere, isn't it?
Always.
Great. And that's a perfect way to end, I think.
What, with a reminder of the ongoing nature of democracy? Thanks.
All right. Well, yeah, if you've got any... Do we want anything from people?
Please don't say anything. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
But if you do have nice things to say, then we've got a rather undisturbed inbox at aquietnightinside09@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. That's how long it's been. At AQNIN9. And
that's it.
As I say, if you've got something nice to say, drop us a nice review on Apple Podcast. And if not, just leave it.
Just leave it. Yeah.
Leave it. No one needs your 1 stars.
No. Yeah, we're not asking for those. We know. We don't need you telling us.
We're giving ourselves 1 star for this one.
Yeah. Just leave it. Well, don't leave it. Just
don't leave it.
Okay.
Whatever you do not leave. Leave. If you're thinking about leaving it, don't.
No. Well, it's really nice to speak to you again, Steve. It's been a long time.
Yeah. You too.
All right. Take care. See you soon.
You too, mate. Bye-bye.